Hello and welcome to episode 144 of Killer Hangover podcast where we talk about true crime, paranormal, and cocktails.
Of
My name
course.
is Beth.
And I'm Bettina.
Oh, episode 144. We are going to be talking about the state of Nevada.
Ada.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, I wrote this up a little while ago whenever I had time, and I'm so excited to share the true crime that I have this week.
I'm pretty excited to share mine also. Share mine also.
Oh, Mom, look how cute your haircut is.
You think?
Yes.
Yeah,
Like
it was
it.
pretty damaged after the show. So I just said, cut it off, man. I want to do something different.
What happened during the show that damaged your hair?
Well, I had permed it several months ago, and
Oh, like all the curls. I see what you're
then
saying.
I curled it pretty tight to be in the time period that my actress was in, and my character was in, and so I just said cut it off. I can't stand burnt ends. I absolutely can't stand them. I like burnt ends as far
I
as
was
me.
just going to say, I love barbecue burnt ends. What are you talking about?
But I do not like hair burnt ends at all.
Those that are watching on YouTube, it's going to be really funny to see how Mom's hair changes because her hair grows really fast and she gets really bored really fast. So her hair changes a lot. Like, I mean, since I've known you, which is like my whole life, obviously, you've had like
I've known you.
a bajillion
I know.
different haircuts,
I get
colors,
bored.
styles. You do. But it's been a while since it's been this short.
Mm-hmm.
Are you having fun styling it or just because it's easier?
So easy. It's so easy. I just like flip flap. There we go. I'm done.
Flip flap. You just wake up and flip flop.
Flip flap. Done.
There's this really funny thing going around on TikTok right now that it's like behind every girl with long hair. And then it has like you have to scroll to the next picture and it's like is a little girl with a bowl cut. And I was like, that is so me. My mom always cut my sisters and my hair so short when we were little.
Well, I didn't cut it, but
Not
I
you,
had it
but
cut.
had it cut. It was always so short. So now that my hair is long, I'm like, I'm never cutting it again.
Well, that must have been just when you were really young, because I've got pictures of you with long hair when you were young. So,
Never like past my shoulders ever.
well, I'm sorry if your hair doesn't grow very fast.
No, you always had it cut so short. It was like pixie cut or bowl cut. Little Katie always had a bowl cut when she was really little.
Her
Oh
hair
my
just did
gosh.
not grow very fast. And it was
Mine
so
doesn't really
fly
either.
away.
Mm.
Oh, cute little thing.
We'll be celebrating her wedding soon. I am so excited.
I know. It'll be fun. It'll
As
be
it's
fun.
getting closer, I know this last episode, I was like, I don't know. I am so excited as it's
I'm
getting
very
closer.
excited. Yep.
It's
Yep.
going to be so much fun.
Oh,
So I have the true crime this week. Mom has the paranormal and the cocktail. I am drinking a beer from Casey Beer Co., a Dunkel. Has nothing to do with any of the stories or anything. I just wanted to
drink a beer.
I deserved a beverage.
Yeah,
But Mom, you have a cocktail this week.
I do.
What are you drinking?
I have a cocktail. This cocktail is
What?
this cocktail is the clown penis cocktail.
No. No. May I ask why it's called that?
Nobody knows.
I am so gonna just name a cocktail. Like the clown penis.
I changed some things, of course. But one, it has to do with my topic. Two, it's really
A
easy to make.
clown penis? You were gonna get banned on YouTube.
Oh, we aren't. Okay. So, what is in a clown penis?
I don't want to know. It's so wrong.
1 ounce smoky scotch and 5 ounces cider. Okay. So
Ooh, cider. Look at you heading to the fall.
I went to the liquor store, right? Because I know nothing about
You know
scotch.
nothing about clown penises. I know. Well, let me tell you.
So I walk in there and I'm like, I need help. I've got two ingredients for this recipe and I need help. So they're like, okay. And I said, I need a crisp cider. The guy goes, okay, it's apple, what, angry orchard? What's
Mhm.
it called? Angry
Yeah, that's a
Orchard.
hard cider. Yeah.
And he goes, and it's got 8% alcohol. And I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
okay, that's a lot. I guess I'll take that. He goes, it's got 8% alcohol. I'm like, dude,
Wow.
I don't need to get drunk. I just need a cider. And I'm not particularly fond of ciders. They're too sweet. So I didn't want to get the whole case or even 6-pack. So I got the one big, big one. And he's like, it's got 8% alcohol.
Wow.
And he's like, I don't know anything about scotch. We'll get the owner. So he came and I go, yeah, I don't want to spend $75 to $90 on the smoky scotch that you have because I personally don't even like scotch. So do you have any alcohol that's smoky? And he's like, yeah, of course there's mezcal, which this
Mhm.
probably would be good with mezcal. And then he's like, I have a smoky bourbon, and it's actually made in Kansas City, and they smoke it in the barrel, but they also smoke the bottle, the inside of the bottle, before they
That's cool.
pour the whiskey bourbon in.
What's the name of the
Yeah,
bourbon?
I should have that.
So you're telling a story about what alcohol you ended up getting, but you don't know the name of the alcohol.
I need to go down and get that bottle, don't I?
You
Should I go?
just shared a great story about it, but you don't.
Oh, the story's not over. The story's not over. Oh, should I run down real fast and get the bottle? Yeah, I'll be right back. Okay. I love smoky bourbons, but this is called Smoky Valley Distillery, Kansas. Marquette. Smoked straight bourbon whiskey.
Oh.
Here we go. Anyway, it could be smokier as far as I'm concerned, but this is what you got. So I just pretty much, and I go, yeah, I have a podcast, and my daughter and I have a podcast, and we have cocktails in the podcast, and I'm covering this topic. And then I said, the cocktail I'm making, the
Oh my
clown
God.
penis.
What was his response to the name of the
He's
cocktail?
like, oh.
So you don't even know why it's called that?
They don't either. The people who made it don't
That's
either.
weird.
Okay, so it's 1 ounce scotch or bourbon and 5 ounces. Mix the ingredients
Hold
together.
on. You froze. 5 ounces of what?
Cider.
Okay.
Mix the ingredients together with ice. Serve in a glass, a highball glass, and top with more cider.
So is it just regular cider that it's calling for or hard cider?
It just says cider, but I got hard cider, I guess.
Why not? Yeah.
It says
So
the
you literally made your own cocktail. So let's
yeah, can I
change
still
the
call it
name.
that?
I mean, let's
I don't
find a
know.
prettier name.
No, I actually like the name.
Oh God.
I knew I'd drive you crazy with it. So, it said that the clown penis cocktail is popular drink that has gained
Oh, it is?
popularity.
Because I hear about it all the time. Clown penis, clown penis. It's just, it
Yeah,
never ends.
everybody wants a clown penis.
It never ends.
The history and origins. Well, the origin of the clown penis cocktail is unknown. The
Oh
name of
my
the drink is
gosh.
considered to be a humorous take on the appearance of the cocktail.
Wait, what? That doesn't even make any sense.
It doesn't, but that's what it says.
It's a brown drink.
Okay, it is refreshing. I have to say, it is refreshing. That's probably because of the cider.
Mm.
And then it's not super sweet because the sweetness is cut down with the bourbon, or I guess scotch if you're a scotch drinker.
Yeah, hard cider usually isn't that sweet.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's too sweet for me. But anyway,
Yeah. I
I
think
got
Alex thinks the same. He's not a fan of any kind of cider, sparkling cider, hard cider, regular cider.
yeah,
That's not usually.
maybe
Ooh,
sparkling
whoa.
cider, I don't know, would be better. I don't know. But this is what I have. So, and it's from
Mm.
homedrinkmenu.com. So
I
there
have
you
a bunch of recipes I'm going to start making and putting together for spooky season right around the corner. And a lot of them called for ciders. So I'm not like educated in ciders or anything, but I was just looking into, because some recipes are like, you need sparkling cider or you need hard cider, regular cider. So I was like, what does this mean? So that's why
Oh, see, you're more
I
versed than
am.
I am because I am not at all. Maybe I was supposed to have sparkling cider. I really don't know. But I have had habanero cider and it was
I was
good.
literally just about to say, Mom, have you ever heard of habanero? Habanero? I don't know. A spicy cider. I had it was like I think it was like even a hatch chili cider.
Yeah,
Holy cow, it was so
delicious.
good.
Yeah, that is honestly that now I'll take that cider any day.
So yummy.
Habanero or hatch or anything. You put the hottest pepper in cider. I'm all about that.
Oh, that was so good. Oh, well, I just have a dunkel. So, cheers, Mom. Are we ready for our stories?
Cheers, my dear. You take it away.
All right. My glaring glasses, I'm going to have to put them on. So, baby girl, my baby girl, has reached that oh so lovely 4-month sleep regression. Yay. Just in time for the beginning of school, the school year.
Oh,
So great. So, and she's a nursing baby, so she gets up a lot more. So if she gets up at 4:30 to nurse and I finally get her down, why would I go back to bed when I have to get up at
oh,
5:30
sweetheart.
anyway to get the boys up and going for school? Uh, so what do I do? Well, I will walk on the treadmill, or I'll just enjoy my coffee in peace on the deck, or I'll watch something. So I have been watching the original Unsolved Mysteries. Like, I'm
Oh yeah.
talking the original ones from 1988. And you
Wow.
can watch these on Peacock. But episode 16 had me very curious and very intrigued. And I was like, I'm totally covering this story. So, this is the story of Kathy Hobbs. Now, Kathy was a little girl who she had a pretty normal childhood. We can't really say normal, but basically a regular childhood. Uh, and it seemed around the age of 8 years old, according to sources, that Kathy started telling her parents that she did not want to grow up. I think that's pretty normal, at least for my kids. They're 5 and 7. And the 5-year-old, I mean, they both are like, I love being a kid. I never want to grow up.
Right.
And my 5-year-old has been convinced by his papa, my dad, that if he sleeps upside down, he won't grow. And I've actually discovered him a few times attempting this. Sweet, sweet boy. So at first, Kathy's requests to stay a child were just like my boys, just very innocent. Until one night, Kathy told her mom's name is Vivian, I don't want to get any older. And Vivian responded with, I know it's hard, but it's just something we all have to do. And Vivian remembers Kathy looking up at her, tears welling in her eyes. And she said, but I'm not going to.
Oh.
Kathy was adamant from a very young age that she was going to die when she turned 16 years old. Some say, oh, there's that some say again from that last episode. Sorry. I guess that's just going to be my new catchphrase. Every
Some
time
say.
Beth says some say, let's just take a drink. I say it a lot. I'm sorry. Some say that this premonition or what have you came from the emotional change, some even called it trauma, that she was going through at the age of 8 when her parents got divorced. It's very traumatic when your family is totally changed, the dynamic is changed, your parents get divorced. And they say that maybe all the emotions from that caused this feeling that she was going to die at 16 or what have you. She was really close with her dad. But the court ordered her to live with her mom and her baby sister, and she'd see her dad on the weekends. But this belief that she was going to die at 16 was very overwhelming for Kathy. She talked about it all the time, and she actually started to socially withdraw from friends, just kind of hide out in her room. She wouldn't leave the house. She was basically like, I'm going to die, so it doesn't matter.
You wonder where 16 comes in. Why 16?
I don't know. She always said that. Another thing that was pretty traumatic was when she was in middle school. One of her only friends passed away with a heart condition. She had a heart condition and she died. And Kathy took that horribly. So then she's dealing with the trauma of that. Again, she wouldn't leave the house. She's just adamant she was going to die at 16. Her parents, although divorced, they co-parented very well together, and they were trying to figure out a way to help their daughter get out of this funk and this negative idea that she was going to die at 16. So they decided a good idea would be to move and maybe change the scenery and get away from the death of her friend and just try a fresh start somewhere would do her some good. So they moved to Las Vegas, Nevada.
So all of them just picked up and moved, even though they were divorced. Wow.
Yes. So when I think of Las Vegas, I think about casinos, burlesque shows, Zach Bagans Museum. Like I think about that. I forget it's also a residential area too. I mean, I have friends that live there. I have a bunch of friends actually from college that moved there with their families that live there. So it's not just some big party place. I've actually never been to Vegas. Have you been to Vegas? You have? I've never been. So they moved to Vegas, and Kathy lives with her mom and her baby sister in an apartment complex there. And at first, the transition seems to be a great idea. She gets out a lot. She makes new friends at her school, and she actually makes some friends at the apartment complex as well. So her mom's like, this is fantastic. She starts to be more social. Her mom later says that Kathy really adjusted very well to the move until around Christmas of 1986. And Kathy realized that come that following year, it was going to be her fateful 16th birthday.
Okay, so she's 15 at this point.
She's
Okay.
15. She's going to be turning 16 in like that next year in a few months, and fear overtook her again. She started to stop socializing as much. She stopped talking to her friends, her family, and she just kept telling her parents again, I know I'm going to die. She was so scared, and there was nothing anybody could do to convince her otherwise. It was very overwhelming for everybody involved because now they're like, man, she's so adamant. Like, some people are even questioning, like, well, is this true? Like, how do you treat this?
Mm-hmm.
Until the morning came on April 20th, 1987, Kathy's 16th birthday. Vivian remembers it clearly. Kathy came running into her bedroom that morning. She was alive. I made it, Mom. I made it. I'm 16 and I'm alive.
She thought she was going to die like on her birthday, like the
Yeah.
morning up.
I think the whole family had this like shadow just lifted. I mean, she was so convinced she was going to die. Like I said, I think probably a lot of her family members thought, were pretty convinced. So this whole shadow just starts to lift, and even her little sister remembers. She was just ecstatic. I am alive. So this burden's starting to lift off of their shoulders. They wouldn't have to live in fear anymore. It was a sigh of relief. And this 16th birthday was a new turn of events for Kathy. She became social again. Or, I mean, according to some resources, for the first time actually in her life, she became very social. And she got out. She got out and about. She even started talking about her future and going to college. She wanted to go to college in California. Or she even considered following her new obsession, her new passion of hair and makeup. And she loved doing hair and makeup. And she started saving her money and going and getting makeup and just trying new looks all the time. And she started telling her mom that she was going to own a salon one day, and she was going to call it Cat's Cuts. So this burden's lifted off their shoulders. They're not living in fear anymore. She's really thriving. And she loved art and drawing. She really, really loved reading, especially romance novels. She loved the romance novels. A month after her birthday, now it's summer break. And again, she's social, she's out and about. She starts hanging out with her friends at the apartment complex pool pretty regularly. And she's reading. I mean, she's just devouring these romance novels. One hot summer night in July, Kathy is collapsed in her bed, poring over one of her romance novels, and she finishes it. Ugh, she has to go get another one. I know the feeling when you just finish that really good book and you're just like, especially if it's in a series, you're just like, oh my God, I have to go get the next one.
Yeah, especially on
have
audio.
to.
It's
Oh
terrible.
my gosh. So she finishes her book and she has to go get another one. Now it's around 11 o'clock at night. And although, yes, they're in a residential area, the complex was like a 10-minute walk from a pretty busy intersection. There was like a shopping center and stuff there. This is Vegas, and Vegas is a 24-hour city or 24-hour town, however you want to look at it. And Vivian really wasn't very concerned when her daughter was like, hey, I'm going to go walk to the supermarket. I got to go get another book. Vivian's not terribly concerned. It's summer break. And normally she would, this was pretty normal for Kathy. And she would probably go down to the pool and maybe grab a friend or two to walk with her. She wouldn't just go by herself. So she's like, yeah, that's fine. Um,
Well,
sorry, I
she wouldn't
lost
grab
my,
her friends at 11 o'clock at night from the pool.
yeah,
Oh, they were
yeah.
hanging out. Okay.
Yeah, they're like 16, 17-year-olds. They're just hanging out at the apartment complex pool. And it would just be like a quick walk to the supermarket. So Vivian really wasn't concerned with Kathy saying, I want to go grab a book really fast. So um, this isn't different for Vivian, but what was different was Kathy saying, "Okay, I'm heading out. Give me a kiss goodnight." And Vivian's like, "Well, I'll probably be awake when you get back." And Kathy said, "Well, I might stop at the pool and hang out with my friends there, but so just give me a kiss goodnight." So the two say goodbye. She gives her a kiss and Kathy leaves. Vivian falls asleep shortly after Kathy leaves, but she's awoken at 3 a.m., startled. She has this horrible radiating pain in her head. Quote, "I suddenly woke up from a deep sleep. It felt like I had been hit on the head. Then I had a very peaceful feeling and thought, well, it's all over now. After that, I fell back asleep." Unquote.
What?
The following morning, Vivian will find Kathy is nowhere to be found. This is very unlike Kathy. She was a very responsible girl. Vivian knew in her gut something was wrong. She calls the police, and police start a search right away. They do a grid search, they post flyers, they get a hold of the media, they're putting her picture everywhere.
Wow, the fact that they jumped on it right away.
Where is Kathy? In the investigation, they question all of her friends and family. They discover that not one of her friends had seen her the night before. So when she had gone to the pool to go catch up with one of her friends, nobody was hanging out at the pool that night. So she must have just walked to the supermarket on her own. And they found that she actually had purchased a book. There was a clerk that remembered her, and they found through transactions done at the supermarket that a book had been purchased at 11:16 that night, I think. Sorry, I lost my place again, obviously. Oh, at 11:17 that night. The clerk remembered Kathy, didn't remember any odd behavior or anything odd about the situation. Just Kathy came, got a book. Now, this is a very busy area. Police were hoping somebody would come forward if they saw something, but no one ever did. They believed it could have been two people that took her because it was such a busy area. So maybe somebody was driving a drive-away car and somebody else pulled her into the vehicle with them. But there was no suspects. Nobody saw anything. And it really wasn't looking good. 9 days after Kathy went missing, police got a call from a geologist out at Lake Mead, which is about an hour drive from Las Vegas. He had discovered a body. When police told Vivian that they were going to go assess the crime scene and see if they recognized the victim, she told them she knew it was Kathy.
Jeez.
Kathy was found deceased about 100 feet off a road by Lake Mead. She had been sexually assaulted, and two bloody rocks near her body and the injuries to her skull told the story of how she had been killed. Kathy had died 3 months and 3 days after her 16th birthday. What do you think about that? Was this a
I think
premonition?
it's crazy that her mother got this searing head pain at about the time that her daughter was probably killed,
Potentially, sure.
and then
And
and then felt that intense peace. Like,
mhm. But what about the fact that Kathy had been saying she was going to die when she was 16 years old?
that's crazy.
And to find out that she was murdered. So she didn't take her own life at
No,
16. She didn't,
no medical issues.
so it's not like she knew it was going to happen because it was evident in any
Right.
of her. It's crazy to me. Cleaning out her bedroom after her death, Vivian found letters written from Kathy to her and other family and friends The letters were dated 1 month before her 16th birthday. So this is when she thought she
Right.
was
She
going to
thought she was
die.
gonna die, right.
Quote, "Dear Mother, in the event of my death, you shall get this letter. I hope you live happily, and I don't want you or anyone else to dwell on my death. I love you all very dearly. You were good to me, and nobody else could have been a better mother. Keep me alive in your heart, and don't ever forget me. Love always, Kathy." It was heartbreaking as
Jeez,
Vivian read
imagine.
this letter on Unsolved Mysteries. And then she like folds the letter up and she looks at the camera and she says, quote, "She was a very good friend as well as being my daughter," unquote. And then the case went cold. Nobody knew, came forward with anything. One of the only promising leads was a call that was left on a message service with the police. It's like for tips and stuff that you can leave a message. And some guy called in October, so 3 months after Kathy's body was found. And he said he had been out of town or else he would have called in earlier. I guess they don't have phones out of town, but
Or maybe he didn't know. Anyway, go ahead.
he said he had witnessed something weird outside of that supermarket on the night of Kathy's abduction. He saw a young girl screaming and two men grabbing her. He said he knew one of the men's names was Robbie because the other man was yelling it. But the two men grabbed the girl, put her in their car, and drove away. He described what she was wearing: pink pants and a white top, which is what Kathy was wearing. And he wrote down the license plate number.
Excuse
Police,
me, why don't you call the police right then and there?
don't you think?
I mean, I know they don't have cell phones, but
But what? But let's wait 3 months because I got to go out of town first.
obviously
I
there's a
don't know.
crime being committed right there. Oh my gosh.
Police run the tags right away, and the plates are led nowhere. They were wrong. And the man didn't leave his name or contact information, so they couldn't reach out to him. And so they don't know if this was real or not. Plus, it was 3 months later, and he
Jeez.
could have known what she was wearing because the media was putting out "be on search for her"
No,
and everything else. So
one of those.
it's stupid. I don't know what it was, what the point of it
Very
was.
stupid. Yes.
So I don't know if it was the killer calling in and just trying to see if they had leads or lead him in the wrong direction, or I I don't know. That's just a who knows. So although it was an episode of Unsolved Mysteries and it seems the case went cold, some say, there it is, guys, take a drink.
I just did.
Some say it was solved. Evidence discovered during the conviction of a serial killer, Michael Lee Lockhart, showed that he may have been Kathy's killer. He had stolen a blue Toyota Celica in May of 87, and he drove it around until like November. And then he was finally caught and he was arrested. So fibers discovered at Kathy's crime scene supposedly matched fibers from that car.
Okay.
And credit card receipts and police tracking his whereabouts show that he was in Las Vegas at the time of her abduction and her murder. Plus, the crimes that he was arrested and convicted for aligned with her and her situation. He was convicted of murders in Texas, Indiana, Tennessee, and Florida, and he was executed in Texas in 1997. He confessed to the murder of a 16-year-old. Her name was Wendy Gallagher in Griffith, Indiana, and he was convicted of her death. He pled guilty to the murder of a 14-year-old, Jennifer Cole Hoyer, in Land of Lakes, Florida. So these are young girls that he had abducted and killed. That's why it kind of aligns with Kathy. He also killed a police officer in Texas. He received life from two of these crimes, and then he received the death
The
penalty.
death penalty. Yeah.
Now, he said he committed more homicides, but he never went into any more detail. Some say he even confessed to a murder in Las Vegas, but many other resources basically stated that because he received the death penalty, no other case that they suspected him for went through with any court proceedings or investigations, which I'm sorry, but that makes me really mad.
It does, because it's still a victim that needs
I
to be.
understand
There's still
it's
questions.
money spent, but how can they just lump Kathy's death into the deaths of a serial killer?
When they don't know for certain. I mean,
I,
maybe
I
they
mean,
do. Maybe they know more than we do, but
th- think about that. How many homicides are just lumped into like, well, he looks good for it. It matches his MO. Yeah, he probably did it. Let's just put it in that number there for that serial killer. And and here's another thing. How common is a serial killer? Quote, serial murder is a relatively rare event, estimated to comprise less than 1% of all murders committed at any given year, unquote. And this is from the FBI.gov. So that makes Kathy's premonition even crazier. If she really did die from a serial killer.
right.
Sorry, I had a pop-up message on my computer. If she really died from a serial killer, like that just makes it even crazier. And I was telling Alex this story, talking to him about all of this as I was researching it. And so he was getting on and like looking at different resources too. And it was like 0.005% of deaths are of a serial killer. So it's like, I, it's it's so crazy that she had a premonition to die at 16 and then did, but in such a rare, if this guy
If
did it.
indeed he did it. Right.
I guess this Lockhart guy was compared to Ted Bundy. He was pretty good looking. He was very con like.
So like she got in the car, he enticed her to get in the car and she did. Is that her
And
personality?
everybody that knows her, I mean, think about it. She was like a hermit, essentially. She would never have gotten into the car with somebody that she didn't know ever. So was he working with somebody else? It, I don't know. All that aside, what are your thoughts on essentially getting a premonition that she was going to die? Was she psychic? Did she just put it into the void? Like, did she just put it out
Right.
there and
Yeah, but why
then it
16?
manifested?
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know.
how do you, like, when they say like put it out into the universe and it'll come true? Okay, so she put it on the universe that she's gonna die when she was 16, but again, by something so rare as a serial killer, like, or
I
murdered.
don't
It wasn't
know.
an accident. It wasn't. Well, she was murdered.
I look at that put out into the void as something positive. You put something
That
positive out into
right.
the void and it comes back to you. I don't see it as putting your death date down there and it comes back to you. I don't know. Maybe she did have a sixth sense of some sort. I mean, maybe she did. But God, 16, and then 3 months later, after she turned 16, she was killed by, we still don't know for sure who. I mean, it points to this guy, Lockhart,
Mm-hmm.
but
Yeah, everything basically. I mean, that the police have released, um, with the fibers found and the fact
well,
that he was in the
that's a
area.
really that's a really good tie, is the fibers. But and of course, Beth, they might know a lot more than you and I. I mean, they might know a lot more than has been released.
I just don't like that they just kind of clumped it in with
Maybe they
that.
did, maybe they didn't. I mean, maybe they had enough leads so that they could establish that. As I don't know. I don't know. I just feel so, I mean, he's dead, good riddance. I just feel for the family, you can't, I hate the word closure, but you can't put it to rest totally because you don't know who stole their daughter's life, you just don't know.
It's so
And
sad.
but you did say that she was starting to live more, carefree. And she did read those romance novels, not saying, but here's this handsome guy, and she's turning a leaf, she's living, she's alive. This handsome guy drives up in this car, and hey, you're really cute or whatever. Maybe they start
That's
talking
so
somewhere,
true.
and then he goes, hey, let's go for a ride or something. She's really just starting to live, and she's like, yeah, living is taking risks. I've lived this, I've lived until I was 16, so I'm going to start taking risks now, and I'll live happily ever after
Yeah.
with this handsome prince, and unfortunately those books are fiction. And
The
so
whole
I can see possibly her getting into a car with this handsome guy. I don't know. I mean, it makes you sick. He kills another 16-year-old girl, a 14-year-old girl. I mean, who knows how many others that he killed. I don't know why. Oh, here I am on my soapbox, but I don't know why these stupid people, they're going to face death or they're in prison for the rest of their life. Why don't they just come out and say who they killed,
I know.
and where the bodies are? And
I know.
I don't get that. I really don't. Oh, and they
Uh,
can't get punished anymore. What, they get
mm-mm.
another 135 years on top of their 500 years? I mean, they, or else they die a second time.
Yeah.
I
And
don't
like I
get
said,
it.
some resources said that he did say he had more homicides and that one of them was in Las Vegas. So maybe that is true. And so
Mhm. Yeah, but remember, a lot of serial killers have no empathy. They have
mhm.
nothing besides they're narcissistic, and they have no feeling outside of themselves, and so they wouldn't feel obligated to, you
They
know.
had they had like his last meal and his last words on the Wikipedia page on him. And he said something like, you have me locked away and you think that this was so cruel, but you all treated me so nicely and I found a family here.
Huh?
In prison. It was so weird.
Oh
And I
wow.
was gonna share his last meal because people's last meals always really fascinate me.
Me too.
Mom,
It's
what
not
would your
always.
last meal be? What would yours be?
Oh my gosh, I don't
Could have
know.
anything. I think I'd
And
want
I don't
like
know why they allow anything. These people killed people. They don't deserve to have crab legs.
I think I'd want like a lobster mac and cheese, like a really creamy. Oh, that sounds so good with garlic bread.
All the
Mm,
starch you could possibly have, because it doesn't matter.
and chocolate cake. and then a big stout beer.
I don't think you can have that. Oh, well,
I'd be
thank
very
goodness we'll
full.
never find out what our last meal will be.
Mm. Well,
Uh,
the whole premonition thing really fascinated me. So, Patreon, just you wait.
oh,
Just you wait. Okay, Mom,
you ready for me? For me?
I'm ready for you and your clown penis.
Well, you already got that. You're not getting any more of it, and I'm
Oh,
almost done.
good. That's fine. I'm good. Had enough. Thank you.
Oh, come on. I just thought it was such a cool name. I didn't even look any further.
I can see that.
All right. So here we go to more, well, definitely lighter and no premonitions here. Okay. Tonopah is a small town with a population of just under 2,500. And sits between like the Grand Canyon and Las Vegas. Okay.
Okay.
So in fact, I was like, I'm going here on my road trip next summer. And Tom goes, do you know how out of your way that is? I'm like, no, I didn't look at a map.
You really need to pinpoint some like haunted places. That's what you
He's
guys should
like,
be
Bettina,
doing.
that's totally out of your way. I said, okay, well, I want to go there sometime then.
You need to pinpoint like at least some haunted bars or something on your way. And so then when you are traveling, you can
You and I need to get
share it.
together and do that. I mean,
That'd be really
pinpoint
fun.
it. It'd be even fun if you did it with me.
I would not do that to Alex. I couldn't do that to Alex.
Poor kids. Bye. See ya.
See ya.
Peace out.
I'm going to go on a drinking trip with my mother in search of ghosts. See ya.
It's our business. It's my job.
Wow. That sounds almost as crazy as a drink called clown penis.
Just saying. All right. So Tonopah started off as a Native American campground. In the early 1900s, it became a small silver mining camp, which of course brought a mining company and more mines, as well as prospectors from all around the US. And what was once a 14-man camp became a fast-paced settlement. So that's Tonopah. In 1905, the Tonopah Plague hit the town, or
Uh-oh.
so read the headlines. What it actually was a type of pneumonia. Interestingly, though, it only affected men, grown men, and it ended up killing 56 men. And it was said that it was maybe caused by unsanitary conditions. But like I said, it only affected the grown men. It didn't affect women or children. And then when Tonopah was a camp, the same illness affected the camp. Again, only the men, and the camps in the surrounding areas were not affected. So I found
Interesting.
that to be strange, even though it turned out to be just pneumonia. But bad enough, of course, to kill people. No. Okay. Then the early morning hours of February 23rd, 10:11, a fire swept through one of the mines in Tonopah.
10-11? Make it 10-11
No.
time?
Wait.
Or is that a year?
No, it's 1911. I'm like 10:11. That makes no freaking sense. I'm going way back in time.
Okay. Either this is a really old story or she knew the exact time.
No, this is 1911. I'm so sorry. A fire swept through one of the mines because of miscalculation and mistakes made by senior mine officials. 17 miners experienced a horrible, horrible death. After which the whole town, I mean, I saw pictures, like they had all these coffins. And at the time it was like 14 coffins because they still hadn't found the three. But the three dead men. But they followed, the whole town came out and followed these coffins to the cemetery. So it was all dressed in black. It was rather, I mean, it was disconcerting to see. But on the other hand, the whole town got together to mourn these men, you know. It ended up that there was 3 more, so now there's a total of 17. They were all buried in the Tonopah Cemetery, which was built in 1901. It filled up rather quickly with the miners as well as with the Tonopah plague victims and other townspeople. So it filled up and they closed it that year, okay, in 1911, and built a new one, which is still being used. All right. So this definitely wasn't the only mine fire. I guess it happens a lot. The last leading to the closure of the mine in 1942. So there was no more mining after 1942. That was the last mine that was active. One of the miners killed in this last fire was Clarence David. In 1985, so now we're going way up. So 1985, his children, Leona and Leroy, opened a motel next to the Tonopah Cemetery. Now, Clarence loved clowns.
Oh my gosh. Did Ghost Adventures
And
go here?
he collected clown figurines.
I remember
When Leona and Leroy opened the motel, they moved Clarence's clown collection of 150 figurines to the hotel lobby. And now you have the main topic of the episode, the Clown Motel.
Nope. No, thank you. No.
The motel has changed hands since its opening. Bob and Deborah Perchetti bought the motel in 1995, and then in 2019, the motel was purchased for $900,000 by its current owner, Ham Anad. Okay. So why in the heck would anybody buy a clown motel? Now this motel, I mean, it is a motel. It's not
I
a
was gonna say,
hotel.
is it a working motel? Okay.
It is a motel.
Is there stuff
Meaning it's
around this area?
one story. No, it kind of sits by itself with the cemetery. Okay,
Cool.
the old
Cool.
cemetery. And now this cemetery is super cool because the graves are like outlined with big rocks.
They're kind of
And then
above ground, aren't they? Some of them are.
no above
No?
ground.
Okay.
They're all outlined with big rocks. And then they have like these wood crosses and stuff.
Okay.
So it looks crazy because we're talking the desert here. All right.
Yeah.
And you've got this cemetery that just lays out flat, and you have the outline of the burial ground itself with these rocks, hand placed rocks, outlining where the guy is or woman is buried. So it's just really different looking and spooky in itself. Now, I'm not afraid of clowns, so that doesn't affect me. But anyway, why would anyone buy a clown motel? You ask that, right?
Oh, I'm wondering that. Yes, for sure.
Well, Bob Parcell, I'm sorry, I don't want to. Bob Perchetti decided to buy it because he was very passionate and dedicated to keeping Tonopah alive and well. I mean, yes, Ghost Adventures was there, and the guy was interviewed, and he was just so kind and just a very nice man. The Clown Motel was iconic and brought people into the town. So he thrived on hospitality, and it was a perfect fit for him and his wife until it was time to retire. So the only reason he sold it was time to spend time with his grandchildren and great grandchildren, and just retire. I'm sorry, I lost my place. Aned is an avid clown lover, and this stems back to the time when he was 14 years old in India. Now, he went to this circus that came to town in India, in a small village of India, and there were the elephants and these big animals and
I
all this
understand
activity,
that. That's
and he was
exciting.
scared to death. He only spent like 5 minutes there and he left. And his friend talked him into the next day. Oh, come back, give it another try. The circus is fun. So he went back. And again, he was really scared until a clown came out. And the clown made everybody laugh. And so he looked at the clown as a very positive figure, and a clown to pick up your spirits and make you laugh. So from that moment on, he fell in love with clowns, and he just collected clown figurines and clown whatever paraphernalia everywhere he went. So he had about, 200 figurines of clowns. He decided that he was in 2017, he packed up his clown figurines, all 200 of them, and headed from India to Las Vegas. His family owned 2 hotels in Las Vegas. So they already were running this, hotels and stuff. And then in 2019 is when the Clown Motel came up for sale.
So the motel already had clowns in it.
Yeah, it had 800 clowns in it.
Now, why did it have clowns already?
Because I told you the people that Leona and Leroy opened it up for in their father's name. Their father loved Clarence, loved clowns, and had a collection of clowns.
Okay. So it really was just in the stars for this guy coming from India with all his clowns.
Totally.
It was
just
written in the stars for him.
Totally fate. Because here he is with his suitcases full of clown figurines with no place to put them. And 2 years after he comes to America, this Clown Motel opens up, and his brother helps him buy it.
Talk about a rare thing, though, for serial killers now. I mean, who out there loves clowns this much that they would open up a clown-themed hotel, motel, restaurant, what have you?
It opened up for him.
That's crazy.
Crazy. So he added his 200 clowns to the 800 clowns that came with the property.
It makes 1,000 clowns.
So you ask, okay, was this man with his clowns scared of this motel? Because here he is out in the boonies, out in the desert, the closest thing to him right next door. I mean, it's right there.
At least his neighbors are quiet.
Old cemetery. Are they, though? Is this old cemetery, right? So it's like, is he scared? He admits that at first he actually was. Then he decided he was meant to be at that motel.
I'd say so.
The stars totally lined up for him. Something or somebody wanted him at that motel. And they weren't going to mess with him because they wanted him there. So they weren't going to mess with him. After this revelation, he settled down comfortably in the Clown Motel. But this does not mean that the motel is not haunted, because it is very haunted. For those of you with coulrophobia, the fear of clowns, you have that.
I don't, they just give me heebie-jeebies. I think anything like a mascot or something, a human dressed in like these big costumes, bothers me. Like
So a
Halloween
little
doesn't bother me, but
figurine of
like,
a clown wouldn't bother you.
okay, ugh.
Okay, so
So yeah,
you have choleraphobia. Okay, that's what it's called.
somewhat, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
The
Interesting name.
lobby itself, with this phobia, the lobby itself would overwhelm you and put you into a phobic shock. I
Mm-mm.
mean, there's more clowns there now.
Clowns don't look happy, they look sinister. They're just like,
Annette has added to the clown collection, so now there's
sure,
2,000. There's 2,000 clowns
good for him. I mean, he's
staring at
doing well
you,
with his motel.
and everybody says it's 2,000 in the lobby, just the lobby.
Wait, so he has all the rooms decorated too?
Okay, I actually have this.
She gave me a shh finger
My next
for
sentence
all
is,
those
"Do
not
you have the
watching.
heebie-jeebies yet, Beth?" That's my next
No,
sentence.
mom, not at all.
Okay, I personally do not mind clowns. I mean, I don't really
But you
like
still wouldn't
them.
want to be in a room with 2,000 of them.
I wouldn't be in a yeah, but when dolls would freak me out even more.
Okay, dolls would be.
That would freak me out even more. But okay, I'm not afraid of them except when we were in the tunnels in Astoria,
That was
and
a
that
doll.
stupid clown in the corner, that sensory clown
Oh, that thing was
that looked
scary.
like it, and it was hanging up, and it was in
Yeah.
the dark corner of the tunnel, and it kept going
What's
off.
that clown's name from the movie? That movie?
It.
No, that
Oh,
movie's name
Pennywise.
is
Pennywise.
Pennywise. Yeah. Good
And it
job,
kept,
mom.
thank you. It kept going off. Remember that? I mean, not
Yeah, no, I
constantly, but
remember.
just every now and then it
But
just,
it was a motion detector one,
yeah, but
and there
there's
would be
nobody.
nobody around there,
It was in a
and it would
dark
go off.
corner. Yeah, it was weird. But then they did have, that one was just a scary clown. They did have Pennywise too,
Mm-hmm.
standing somewhere else. Ooh. Okay. So that was scary, I have to say. Okay.
I forgot all about that.
Don't get me wrong. The clowns are not the things that are haunted per se in this motel. But there have been plenty of reports of paranormal activity. Guests have reported disembodied voices coming from rooms, weird laughing in the corridors, and according to Parchetti, the previous owner, one guest of the motel claimed to wake up to find a full-bodied clown apparition staring
No! Oh
at him.
my gosh! Oh my gosh!
Can you even imagine a
I'd
clown
rather be haunted by a ghost.
standing at the edge of your bed staring
I'd
at
rather
you?
see like a creepy woman dressed in white than just a clown just like standing there. Oh
Okay.
my gosh.
The crew of Ghost Adventures visited both the cemetery and the clown
And
motel.
Zach hates clowns, right? Isn't that one
Yes,
of his
Zach
like,
has colorophobia really bad. Really bad.
so it could be like, because I mean, where are they getting all of these clowns, right? Like, could it be like attachments to these clowns that makes, you know what
People
I'm
really
saying?
think it's coming from the cemetery.
Cemetery.
But,
Yeah,
I
they're
mean,
probably like, what the hell is happening? This is such a weird thing right next to where I'm buried. I'm resting in peace over here. What are you smiling at? Like it just doesn't make any sense. Ugh, keep hitting my microphone.
I have to scroll up just a minute. I found it actually, Ghost Adventures season 14, episode 10 on the Travel Channel. And if I remember correctly, you, myself, and Alex watched this together, which we
Probably.
normally do anyway. Um, okay, so let me
Ugh.
find my place.
Clown apparition.
Okay,
Clown apparition standing at the edge of the bed.
Oh. Okay. Now, as we said, Zach has definite coulrophobia. I mean, he is really bad. And I'm not going to make fun of Zach this time. I commend him for taking this assignment. Because I'll tell you right now, if anybody said, okay, walk into a room by yourself late at night, and
With
all in
snakes?
that room, there's a bunch of stuffed snakes or pictures of snakes, I wouldn't do it. I would not do it because that is my phobia. And there's no way in hell I would do that.
No.
So I commend him for going into, knowing his phobia and going into this dark room, knowing it's surrounded by these staring.
I dressed as a clown
faces.
for Halloween once.
I dressed you as a clown.
Yeah. Lorraine, my stepmom, made that costume. And I remember really wanting to be a clown that year for some reason.
Oh,
Oh,
okay. So the crew did capture some things right when Zach started recording himself walking towards the lobby door. And this is during the daytime. A door next to the lobby just randomly opened on its own. I mean, opened wide. But this wasn't the only time doors open and close. Many guests, as well as the housekeepers, have reported doors opening and closing on their own. Excuse me. There wasn't much from the cemetery during the crew's investigation. People have reported
yeah, because
dark.
they're partying over at the motel.
Well, people have
Why would they want to hang out at the cemetery
at
when
the
you got all that fun
cemetery.
stuff
It's so dark.
happening right
There's
there?
clowns next door.
I know. And like a motel, like there's like mini bars and other people there.
I don't know about the mini bars, but so people have reported those seeing like dark shapes actually coming up out of the graves,
Oh my gosh.
like shadow
I
figures and
would prefer that
walking
over an apparition of a clown. Still,
and then just walking, along the graves and stuff.
I'd
This
love to see
has
it.
been this
Yes.
has been reported. They've also reported voices and sobbing coming from the graveyard. But the night the
Oh,
crew was out, which was mostly
nothing.
Billy, there was nothing. There was really nothing going on. Zach was
Oh,
out
that's
there
too
too,
bad.
but there was just nothing that happened.
That's too bad.
Now, Billy had, he likes to invent these things, and in that I give him respect because he invents these really cool things. This time it was this contraption where he turned a handle to conduct electric energy along a cable that ran from the cemetery. So he placed it by a grave and he
Mm-hmm.
turned this cable, and the energy ran from along the cable, which stretched all the way to a hotel room where Zach was sitting, and there was a light bulb connected to the end of that cable. So when the light bulb came on, then Zach knew that the current had run all the way. Okay. And they were thinking that
Okay.
maybe they could get a spirit to ride that current or something.
Ride that current like
I'm not really sure.
ah.
I'm not really sure.
Go to the circus, honey. Let's go.
Let's ride that current. But Zach did record a male voice saying, "Hello, it turned on," when the bulb turned on.
Oh, that's
So
pretty
that was
cool.
pretty cool. And it was clear as day. It wasn't their usual, okay, listen, doesn't this say, blah, blah, blah.
And
And
it's like,
going,
oh my gosh, it said, Zach, are you here in this room?
they did one of those. I'm like, that doesn't sound like that at all. It sounds like, is Sally here or something? I don't know. I had a complete different, different, yeah, no, I don't like, no.
You always walk away from those like, they heard that? What?
Oh, so like I said, I'm not going to make fun of Zach this time because I do give him kudos for facing his fears. And
Mm-hmm.
he did walk into this lobby late at night when it's pitch dark by himself. Okay. Now, I don't know whether you remember this part, but all three of us were totally like, aghast and amazed at what happened next. Zach is slowly walking around the lobby. Of course, he's totally freaked out, right, by all these clowns.
Sure.
And he doesn't make light of it. When all of a sudden, wait, okay, let me back
Zach
up.
not being dramatic. What?
So not only are there figurines of clowns, there's paintings of clowns, and there's dolls that are clowns, and there's life-size clowns, okay?
No.
There's one that's as big as a man. I mean, it looks like a man is sitting in a chair, but he's a clown, okay? In his right arm, he's holding another clown, like a clown doll, okay? His other
Okay.
arm is by his side, and it's on his lap. Now, if you remember way back, Zach is walking around, and all of a sudden the hand that's on the clown's leg slips down. And they showed this like 10 times because it was
I
really
feel like
cool,
I remember this.
really cool evidence. I mean, Zach, the next day he's jumping up and down and he's doing whatever he can, saying, I didn't move this, I didn't move it by walking, and I wasn't even walking at that time. And the hand was sitting on his thigh and literally slowly just moved down to the side.
Ooh.
Yeah. And like I said, the hand was a big, I mean, this was a very tall man sitting in this seat. It was
Nope.
a big doll, and his hands
Gosh.
were the hands of a man. I mean, it was just eerie anyway. And
There's
then to see
probably a real man sitting in that costume.
no, then to literally see that big fake hand moving, just sliding slowly down the
Okay.
leg was
Okay.
just so crazy. Oh, Zach totally freaks out, of course. I mean, I think we freaked out too when we saw that. And when Billy finally joined him, he was beside himself. He was outside. He left the lobby immediately, and he was outside. He told Billy, I'm so scared right now, I'm ready to cry. He really looked like he
Oh.
was. He was so scared. He wasn't faking. This was no acting going on. He was scared to death. As for the new owner, Aned, he says he hears sounds from unoccupied rooms. He hears footsteps, knocking, and voices. He believes that these are spirits that have come to visit from the graveyard. Quote, this was how I knew they were telling me we are here, but don't worry about that, he said. He's never had a bad encounter. He's never had a scary encounter. They just make themselves known. That's it. Now, there are certain rooms that have more activity than others. In these rooms, bathroom doors open and close on their own. Whispers, and in one case, a group of women. This is hilarious. A group of women reported that their toilet wasn't working, and a ghost all of a sudden appeared in the bathroom and offered to fix it.
That's awesome. That is awesome.
Have you ever heard of that happening?
My beer is empty. My beer is empty. Nothing.
How would you freak out if all of a sudden your beer picked up right now and floated?
I'll tell you right now, Mom, we would get some ratings on YouTube. I mean,
you better get some fish wire on that and start moving it.
My beer is empty.
Oh. Because
so are the rooms decorated though? Like,
because some people are staying at the motel to be scared, Anand actually made theme rooms. Okay. So there's a Friday the 13th room, a Halloween room, an exorcist room, and of course,
good.
an it room.
What is in the exorcist room? Like, just like puke? Like, I don't know.
The green puke
is painted on the wall.
Around the room, all the way around.
I mean, what
That's
is
hilarious?
How do you decorate an exorcist theme?
I don't know, but that would be so good. That's such a good idea.
Thanks. Not just a hat rack.
So I did get online because I'm serious about staying at this motel.
No, you will not.
Yeah, I'm dead serious about it. They
You
even allow
would?
pets. Oh yeah. Oh, I am so going here. Um, and it's like the rooms are anywhere from like 85 for the plain ones. And I mean, they're really plain. They're just plain, comfortable rooms. The reviews on it said that the motel is very, very clean. Um, and hey, they even rent out EFM readers for $45, and then you get the money back.
What's that? That's half the cost of the room.
It is half the cost of the room. The themed rooms are a little bit more expensive.
Well, you have to choose the exorcism room because I'm super curious about that. So I would stay in a haunted hotel. I would stay in a haunted motel, but this just, I don't know. There's something about this one. I don't know if I could.
I'm going to. I am so going to do this.
Ooh,
And
okay.
now, what I found that when I was on their website looking at the prices of the rooms and availability and all that other stuff, I did note a line that kind of stood by its alone. It said, quote, paranormal experiences are not guaranteed under any circumstances and no refunds will be issued.
I mean, unfortunately, they've had to put that for a reason.
I know, that's what I was thinking. It was like, so people have actually come up and said, nothing happened, give me my money back.
I'm sure.
Well, they're not selling themselves as a haunted motel. They're selling themselves as a
But
clown
even
motel.
if they were, you never go into a paranormal investigation
Thinking for
always
sure
getting
that you're going to get
something.
something. I know.
I mean,
No,
Billy was in the cemetery and didn't get anything.
nothing.
Like, huh? People are
Stupid.
stupid.
So, no, I'm serious about this. And then maybe not on my trip, but then Tom said something about, yeah, I got a conference in Las Vegas next April or May or whatever. And he's like, if you come with me, we can go down there and stay a night there.
Tom would stay there. Oh my God.
Well, he doesn't believe in any of this.
I'm going if Tom goes.
Okay.
That would be amazing.
But he refuses to go in on any investigations with
No,
us.
no, 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 no. Just Tom's experience in a clown motel. Just think about that for a second. I don't think anybody wants to miss out on that. We have to document that in itself. Haunting or no haunting, I will pay double. I don't want my money back. I want to pay double to witness that.
Wait, Tom in a motel. Let's make it even shorter.
Oh, oh, wow, this beer kicked in. Those that have been listening to us for a while, you've been introduced to Tom. You know Tom. No, I can't see him in the Clown Motel.
But he did. He offered it up, and I'm making this public because he can't go back on his word.
No, it's official now.
It's
It's
like we're
on
gonna.
tape.
He goes, "Oh well, I'll go with you down there." I think he said that, or he said, "Adios, I'll be at the conference. You go down there by yourself."
Or maybe he meant like go and see it, but he's not staying there.
True that. That could have been. I'm gonna have to clarify.
See it, saw it, see ya.
Done. Oh, so anyway, I can't believe you didn't jump on this right away and know what I was talking about.
I had a feeling, because I remember the Ghost Adventures doing the Clown Motel, but I didn't remember it was in Nevada. So when you said clown penis with your drink, I was like, they had a clown motel that was haunted, but I don't know if that was in Nevada.
Yes.
So
I had to do it just for you because I know you
yeah.
love clowns.
No, that would be, oh my gosh. Can you imagine a clown apparition? Oh my gosh. That is so scary. I would prefer a child spirit. Like just
Ew.
yeah.
No.
That's how terrifying a clown just with the red nose, just like standing. Oh, no,
No, you know
thank
what?
you.
I kept seeing, I mean, to me, I clowns, but when they kept talking about clown apparitions and stuff, I kept saying Gacy.
Yeah,
That's what I kept seeing. And it
there
was
was a
like,
clown too in the I liked American Horror Story. Like the first season was the best. And then we tried to watch the seasons after that and I've lost interest. They're just too gory for me now. But one of the ones was a clown and it just that was rough. Rough. Scary.
oh, we're gonna have to cover Gacy.
Yeah, unfortunately, we will.
'Cause I got a lot of pictures of things from that museum that I visited in Savannah. Yeah.
You know, that was my very first true crime podcast was about Gacy. It was my favorite murder and I fell in love with podcasts. I was like, this is really cool. It's
That
right
was
there
fun.
on my phone. I can listen to anything. I was hooked. It's a long time ago.
Oh, so
And
my
here we
dear.
are, episode 144.
Woo woo.
Oh, wow. Okay, well, for resources, you know where to find them.
The website.
killerhangoverpodcast.com. Then you can also find links to our social media, Patreon, all the good stuff. If you guys want to hear my, we have topics, true crime, paranormal topics that we talk about, but we also just have more of a lighter banter. But an episode comes out every other week there. So
For
it's
Patreon.
$5 a month. Yep. The
Yep.
link to Patreon is going to be on our website. It's also in the description of this episode. So that let's see, what else do I need to say? Oh, spooky season is upon us. It's here. It's coming. It'll
It
be
is.
here. I have some really fun cocktails planned and some super spooky stories. So get
All
excited.
right. Hey, you know what would be fun is for our listeners to send in stories.
Please. Well, I mean, anytime, but yeah.
Yeah, we could have, if we get enough, we could get, we could have a whole like just episode on at reading these things. What would be even cooler is for them to read them, but we'll have to look into that.
Yeah.
It'd be a
Send us,
listeners episode.
please
So
send us your stories. That'd be really fun to do. A spooky share some stories.
this
Oh
is a
my gosh.
special episode.
Or
A listeners
Halloween.
episode. That'd be fun.
Halloween.
That'd be
Okay.
fun.
Well,
So
Mom, this is a fun one.
all I have is a highball glass.
And
It's
I have an
empty.
empty bottle. You enjoyed that clown penis. Cheers, Mama.
Cheers. I love you, kid.